Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Megan. It has been quite some time since I last uploaded. I have just been recovering, spending time with family. We went camping last weekend, so that kind of put a damper on things as far as like getting things uploaded, because you can't really do that in the middle of a cow pasture, slash you don't know if you'll be able to do that in the middle of a cow pasture, depending on like how good of signal you have. It just varies depending on how far out in the middle of nowhere you are. So yeah, I just wanted to come on and give you guys an update on how my health has been doing since I last talked to you guys, and tell you a little bit about how my surgery went and compare it to my last surgery. So I will link down in the description box my videos about my first laparoscopy, but in this video I will mostly be talking about my health as it is today, and also about my most recent surgery, and a little bit about how it compared to my last one. So let's go ahead and just like dive on in to how I'm doing. So I had my second laparoscopy for the excision of endometriosis on December 27th. And this one was done robotically. It was 3D instead of 2D, which the last one was 2D. So my incisions were a little bit different. The only one that she reused was the belly button incision, and if I'm being a little picky, my belly button is now more like creasy and folded in the middle than it used to be. Like honestly, my belly button used to be super smooth and flat in the middle, and now it does have creases, which honestly, like, people's belly buttons have creases. I shouldn't be complaining, but I don't know why it bothers me, but it kind of does. So anyways, she went through my belly button, and then the other two incisions are directly to the sides of my belly button, whereas my previous surgeon used incisions that were like below my bikini line. And honestly, like, I can't even find those old incisions unless I look really, really hard. So yeah, these ones are pretty visible at the moment, and I'm hoping that they fade really, really well. But they're honestly like not too bad. They already are starting to fade, and they are probably like half an inch long, and they're really thin. So like, I'm not mad at it at all. And she used glue and the internal like dissolvable sutures to close me up this time, whereas last time he used like old school like thread that I had to go get cut out, and that was like super annoying and uncomfortable. So this time was much, much better in that regard. I was put on strict lifting restrictions this time, and I am very, very thankful for that, because my recovery was so much different. So I definitely had way more gas pain than I could have ever imagined. I took Gas-X, I took oh gosh, what did I take? I took this. I took activated charcoal, because that's what I took last time. All I took last time was activated charcoal, and I did just fine. And this time, like, I had to try like everything possible, because the gas pain just would not quit. It was rough, and it lasted for like 3 to 4 days. They said it would be like 24 to 48 hours, and it was definitely 3 or 4 days. And I think the reason for that is because she looked all the way up at my diaphragm and at my ribs, And last time, that doctor did not look that far. Like, he only looked at like my pelvic region, and this doctor was so much more thorough in her evaluation and making sure that there was no endometriosis anywhere to be found. And if it was there, she was going to cut it out this time around. She was not going to leave anything behind. So I'm so thankful for my surgeon this time around, because she was absolutely incredible. And she did find 5 or 6 different places that she had to remove, mostly around my bladder and ovaries. And I had a place where the initial surgeon cut out, and I think she calls it like it's like the cul-de-sac or something like that. It's like between the uterus and the like bowel area. And that's where he had cut out before. She had to re-excise that area that he cut out before, because it either he didn't get it all, or it was already coming back, or both. But who knows? It's hard to say, because it was difficult to get my previous op report, and it was hard to tell from the pictures from my first surgery exactly what he cut out, what was left behind, and that kind of thing. So anyways, she cut out like 5 or 6 different places, and luckily it was all localized to my pelvis. So I'm so thankful for that. And quite honestly, I didn't think I had it anywhere else but my pelvis. I don't really typically have any symptoms other than like in my pelvic region, although sometimes I do have pain that radiates up into my abdomen, but it like never starts there, if that makes sense. So I had a strict 2 weeks of no lifting more than 10 pounds, which is really a difficult task with a 2.5-year-old that weighs 30 pounds. That is a total mama's girl and can't quite understand that mama has boo-boos, mama has to lay in bed. You can't climb all over mama because she just wants to climb all over me all the time, and that mama couldn't hold her or put her to bed or do any of those things for like the longest time. It was so difficult. Anyways, when I got released from the restrictions of being able to lift like no more than 10 pounds, it was like absolute magic of being able to like hold Celie and snuggle her and put her to bed and all of that. And I will say this, I was super sore because I hadn't been using my muscles in that way, but it was amazing. And this time compared to last time, I took a lot more time off of work this time. The first time I took 10 days off of work, and that was only because I told him what I did in my appointment. Initially, my surgeon, the first time around, told me to take 2 to 3 days off of work until I was like, you know what I do, right? Like, I am up and down off the floor. I have to lift more than 50 pounds like pretty frequently. Like, I don't just sit at a desk. And he was like, oh, well, can you take more time off? And I'm like, yeah, I can take more time off. Like, how much time should I take? So that first time I only took 10 days. It was not enough. And so this time around, I like was really strict on following my doctor's orders. And so I took, I ended up taking 3 weeks off, like the week of surgery, and then like the whole 2 weeks after that until I got clearance to go back like the week after, if that makes sense. So I got cleared like 2 weeks post-op, and I went back the following week. So really I took like 3 weeks off. And let me tell you what, my legs were sore, my core was sore, just from the amount of like exercise and increased activity. But it was good to kind of get back to a normal schedule, get back to like working again, sort of. Was not good to get back to the stress of all of that, but it was good to like get out of the house and that kind of thing. But I was definitely like, I felt more ready to go back this time around, whereas last time it was more like soreness in my incisions, like my abs couldn't handle it. And this time my abs could handle it. Like I was just more like muscle soreness from inactivity versus like soreness because I wasn't ready to be doing the things that I was doing yet. So I'm really thankful that my doctor like wrote for me to be out on FMLA and short-term disability, because I needed that time to recover fully and be back to work. And quite honestly, when I had to call like our like occupational health to get cleared from them to go back to work, they were also like a little bit worried, like, are you sure you're ready to go back to work? You know, try to take it easy, make sure you're taking care of yourself, blah, blah, blah. It was really like nice that they sort of cared, or at least acted like they cared, and wanted to make sure that I was truly good from my surgery to go back to work. So yeah, it was a much better experience this time, like all the way around. Last time with anesthesia, I woke up like in a panic. I couldn't breathe because I was like all stopped up like snotty. This time I told the anesthesiologist that I woke up in a panic last time, and so they gave me some good stuff this time, some very strong drugs. I'm pretty sure he gave me fentanyl and Versed before even wheeling me back into the OR. And yeah, I was like higher than a kite. I did not give any F's getting moved over onto the operating table or anything. Like, I did not care. And then I woke up like super chill, super relaxed, ready to go home. It was great. It was definitely also with just like the hospital I was at this time and the staffing and everything, it was a completely different experience in a much more positive way. So I'm really thankful that I found this doctor. And so it's really important that if you are struggling or think you might be struggling with endometriosis, that you find a doctor that knows what the heck they're talking about, respects your wishes, and is a skilled surgeon in excision surgery, not ablation, because ablation doesn't do crap. Or if they're not skilled in those things, then they need to know who to refer you out to. So I will also link down in the description box some good resources for people with endometriosis, because the only way that I found this doctor is through a Facebook support group that I started off with, looking at the Nancy's Nook group on Facebook, which is gigantic. I want to say it's definitely in the United States. It might be international as well, but we don't have in Florida a ton of Nancy's Nook doctors. The doctor I used is not technically a Nancy's Nook doctor, but I'm in a local group to my specific area, and this doctor is highly recommended in the local group and pretty vetted, and more or less she is like an up-and-coming doctor, so she hasn't quite made that like Nancy's Nook list yet. So yeah, it's important to join like the Nancy's Nook group just for like education purposes, and then also find yourself like a local group in your area specifically so that you can find good doctors and like who to stay away from in your specific area. So let me also say this, at my 2-week follow-up with my doctor, she was very confident that she got everything and that she felt like I was gonna have good outcomes. And one thing that surprised me about my appointment was that she didn't immediately recommend physical therapy like I thought she was going to, because at my pre-op appointment, she pretty much said that she was going to recommend that I go to pelvic floor physical therapy. So I was kind of like mentally preparing myself for that and trying to figure out where in the heck I was gonna fit that into my schedule and how, because our family's work schedule has changed, and so it's a little more tricky now to do that and to have appointments for myself on my day off. So I was like freaking out a little bit, like how am I gonna fit physical therapy into my life? I mean, I am a physical therapist, but I am not a women's health pelvic floor physical therapist. That is not my thing. I mean, I know a little bit, but I don't know enough to like treat myself by any stretch of the imagination. So she surprisingly did not. And what she told me was that if after 6 weeks that I feel that I need it, then I can just message her through the portal and get a referral. But otherwise I just follow up with her in 3 months and we will go from there, and just kind of see how I'm doing. So yeah, I'm really excited because I'm already seeing and feeling a difference. I already, not to be TMI, but like activities that were really uncomfortable and painful before are already more comfortable, and I am not even 5 weeks post-op yet. So it just gives me a lot of hope that I'm gonna continue to heal and continue to improve. And so I feel like I really made the right decision to go through with the second surgery, even though I always told myself like I'm never gonna have another surgery, I'm not doing this again. And yeah, so I'm just thankful that I found the doctor that I did and that it went as well as it did. And yeah, hopefully I don't need pelvic floor PT, because again, like I don't know where I'm gonna fit that in my life. But like everything is going like so well. Weight loss wise, I'm kind of at a standstill. I'm gonna make a whole video about my weight loss situation and like where I am and all about that. But just like overall health wise, I feel good. I'm doing pretty well. My migraines are status quo. I'm trying to finally get into a neurologist, but that's not until March because I procrastinated. I finally made an appointment with a dermatologist about this like crazy eczema patch on my ankle that I've had for literally the last 8 years because another dermatologist like screwed my ankle up. And so I have like terrible eczema. That's another story for another day. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. That's where I'm at. So that is going to be it for this video. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps out my channel. And follow me over on my Instagram because I do post over there occasionally as well. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.